Hi there, Dr. Brian here. Today we're talking about stability, what it means and why it's important. Two key things about why you need it in your body. Stay around and I'll tell you a bit more. Hi there, Dr. Brian. So, stability, what does that really mean? Now, we are the most extraordinary thing, the human body. So we're upright, mostly. Not after a big night sometimes, but upright. And if we equated ourselves, say, with a flagpole or a tall building, we would have an anchor into the ground and be super rigid so that we were stable. Now that would mean that you couldn't move. You would be a flagpole or a building. Now if we have something that's flexible, it's usually not stable. And an example might be a suspension bridge, which is slightly terrifying because it sort of sways and swings and ripples, and it's quite flexible and it has strength, but it's not stable. So the body needs two opposite things working simultaneously. We need stability of the structure, and then we need flexibility, particularly around all the joints, so that you can tie your shoelaces, feed yourself, scratch your back, do all the things you want to do, look over your shoulder when you're merging in traffic, talk to the person next to you. Now, the body detests instability because it's risking injury to muscles and joints, and if it's central instability, it risks injury to your spinal cord and nerves, and that will end in tears and no movement. So the body will do everything it can to stabilize a sloppy joint, in the same way that if you had a loose pylon in a building, the building would have yellow and black tape around it and it would be condemned because it could fall down. So what does that mean? If we have weak pelvis down here where the legs plug into your hip bones, that really means that your body can't recruit muscular strength well through the legs, because as you go to step up the stair, the pelvis will flex and the body won't like that. So the muscles that are trying to move you are now trying to brace you. So you come in and you say, I feel really stiff, it feels like a muscle. Well, you're right, the muscle is tight trying to protect you, but it's not the problem, it's the result of the problem. So I want to look inside and find where the instability is, and find a way to stabilize that sloppy area so that things begin to work properly and the joints are lined up to within a millimeter of where they should work. The body is mostly second and third class levers, so if you were staring out the window in physics and geometry and algebra, you won't know what I'm talking about. But you will know that if you want to use a lever, so something like a teaspoon to open a tin or a screwdriver to open a tin of paint, you go for the longest screwdriver you can find. So you put the edge of it under the lid and lever it to get some good leverage. You don't go for a stumpy screwdriver that gives you no leverage, stumpy, long. So understand that if the body is more like a stumpy screwdriver. So when you go to lift something out here, the workload here and into your back muscles is ridiculous. It's 20-fold, 30-fold, 100-fold. So the 1 kilo jug ends up at being sort of 50 kilos or 60 kilos in the back here. So stability is super important, and joint range of motion allows us to do things. So these two absolutely opposite needs need to be met in some way, and we can only create flexibility and supple movement when we have stability. So when we look at the body, we look for stability, we look for instability, and when we understand where there's this sloppy, lax ligamentous or injured ligament, we work to create stability by approximating the joints and stabilizing that either artificially or externally, or help the body stabilize it itself so it will begin to heal. So what that does do additionally is that when that joint is out of position and it's not working properly and it's getting too much movement, inside each joint are little receptors called propreceptors, and they tell your brain where you are in space. Now if that's full of sloppy movement, you are now getting let's say, spam in the brain. You're getting lots of messages it doesn't need or want, but they're coming anyway. Your email spam blocker is broken and you've got 200 messages a day, you only want 5 of them. And so you can't kind of sort through your message box properly, and you actually delete the messages you want, trying to get rid of the ones you don't want. So your brain is overworked receiving too much information from sloppy joints, and it drives anxiety and depression. These two are cousins, they kind of go out together. They're different results of a very similar overstimulation of the midbrain, the emotional centre. So really important for your mental health and your overall health to have stability in the body, because instability overstimulates the brain. Gut instability, poor digestive function, poor hormonal balance, they additionally overstimulate the body and the brain. So what we find is that when we start new clients and put them through various screening processes that are objective and some subjective, so self-referencing, SF36 questionnaire, a comprehensive metabolic questionnaire, and a DAS, depression anxiety self-referencing scalar, those numbers will all fall as their EMG comes in, the muscle activity drops as the body becomes more stable, and the muscles that move you stop doing the stability work and they are just available only for moving you now. And you'll feel more supple all of a sudden. You'll feel like the muscles are now working instead of feeling like a guarded lump. So stability is critical. It's the key to good functioning in your body. So I believe that is what we focus on, because when we achieve that, then we can go forward and release a joint that's over jammed because it's been working so hard to try and hold you up. So there'll be some links underneath to a bit more information, but understand that stability is the key to a happy brain and a happy body. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks.